Alaska shook violently today. A massive 7.3 magnitude earthquake struck near Sandpoint, shaking the very foundation of the Aleutian Islands. People in Anchorage felt it. People in Kodiak ran outside. The earth didn't just tremble, it roared. And then came the alert. Tsunami warning in effect. Sirens screamed. Phones buzzed. The sky was calm, but the ocean was not. In Homer, Alaska, families grabbed emergency kits. In Sandpoint, waves hit the harbor walls. The water pulled back, and everyone held their breath. Emergency alerts were sent across Alaska, California, even as far as Washington. People searched online. Is there a tsunami in Alaska? Tsunami warning today live. Alaska Tsunami 2025. Is it happening now? The Alaska Tsunami Warning Center confirmed. Yes, a tsunami advisory is in place. Coastal areas should move to higher ground immediately. For many, it brought back memories of 1964. The last time Alaska saw destruction like this. But this time, the world was watching live. Helicopters hovered over Homer. Anchorage braced for aftershocks. The earthquake wasn't just powerful, it was terrifying. Sandpoint, Alaska, the epicenter. People there are calling it the strongest quake in years. Schools shut down. Roads cracked. The ground felt like it wouldn't stop moving. Tsunami sirens now echo in towns where just yesterday kids were playing. Emergency teams are active. The Alaska Earthquake Center is monitoring tremors nonstop. This is not just another day in Alaska. This is a wake-up call for preparedness, for safety, for respecting the unstoppable force of nature. The ocean gives life, but in a moment it can take it. Stay safe, stay alert, and remember, when the ground shakes, move fast. When the water pulls back, run faster, because the next wave might not give a second chance. They never expected it. The people of Alaska were going about their day like any other. But then the ground began to shake violently. It wasn't just a tremor, it was a full-blown earthquake. One that would change everything. First, it felt like a slow rumble. But within seconds, buildings began to sway. People rushed outside, children, elders, everyone screaming, panicking. The streets of Anchorage, Sandpoint, and Homer echoed with chaos. This was not just another earthquake. It was a 7.3 magnitude strike, centered deep near the Aleutian Islands, and it triggered what everyone feared the most, a tsunami warning. Phones buzzed, sirens screamed. The Alaska Tsunami Warning Center issued an emergency alert. Tsunami warning. Seek higher ground immediately. Along the coastlines, from Kodiak to Homer to Anchorage, residents had only minutes to act. Tsunami sirens howled into the early morning air. Parents grabbed their children. Fishermen abandoned their boats. Hotels evacuated their guests. The clock was ticking. The earth had shaken. And now, the sea was rising. Waves miles wide rolled through the Pacific. The ocean didn't roar. It whispered with deadly intent. And yet, the danger was just as terrifying. People ran up hills. Some drove as far inland as they could. The fear wasn't just of water. It was of the unknown. Would Alaska be swallowed by waves tonight? Tsunami advisory updates flooded phones across Washington, California, and even British Columbia. Tsunami warning California. Tsunami warning Seattle. Tsunami warning Anchorage. Everyone was watching the ocean. Everyone was holding their breath. In Sandpoint, Alaska, one of the towns closest to the epicenter, residents described the earthquake like a giant lifting the land up and slamming it back down. Windows shattered, roads cracked, and then a haunting silence before the waves came. Was this the big one? The one geologists have feared for decades. Back in the Alaska Earthquake Center, scientists tracked every aftershock. More tremors were coming. The tectonic plates were grinding violently. The Pacific Plate was restless. Then came the first wave. Not massive, but strong enough to crash over docks. Fishing boats were slammed against piers. Homes flooded. Electricity flickered and failed. People cried out for help. Tsunami in Alaska. Live updates. Everyone searched online, desperate to know what's next. The coast of Homer was hit next. A surge of water rushing through the narrow bays, tearing through everything in its path. Bridges shuddered. Cars were swept away. Social media exploded. Live footage of the tsunami in Alaska. Drones captured the dark line of water devouring the shoreline. This wasn't just a warning anymore. This was real. This was now. Schools were closed. Hospitals were on high alert. Emergency shelters opened their doors. The question wasn't if there'd be damage, it was how much. In Kodiak, waves reached nearly 6 feet, small in number but massive in power. The ocean, unforgiving. This wasn't just a test of infrastructure, it was a test of spirit. The people of Alaska stood strong. Volunteers helped families evacuate. First responders worked non-stop. Neighbors became heroes. And yet, the danger hadn't passed. Aftershocks continued. More tsunami alerts were issued. Even California's coast was watching closely. The Alaska Tsunami Warning Center updated again. Still active. Stay away from shores. At night, the fear only grew. Darkness and uncertainty made everything worse. Families clung to each other. Elders whispered prayers. Children cried, asking if the waves would come back. The ocean remained silent, but deep beneath it, the earth continued to tremble. By morning, the warnings were downgraded, but the scars remained. Cracked roads, flooded homes, shaken hearts, and one question echoed everywhere. Is this just the beginning? Geologists say Alaska is one of the most seismically active places in the world. The Pacific Ring of Fire is always moving. And today was just another reminder. Nature doesn't wait. Nature doesn't warn twice. So if you're in Alaska, in Washington, or anywhere near the ocean, listen when the ground speaks. Run when the ocean calls. Because when the earth shakes and the sea rises, seconds matter. Lives depend on it. This is not just news. This is a wake-up call. Prepare, plan, and pray. Because the next wave might not be merciful.